Some mysteries captivate the human psyche like moths drawn to a flickering flame. They linger in the recesses of our minds, demanding answers where there are none. The Setagaya family massacre is one such enigma, a chilling tale of violence that has haunted Japan and the world for nearly a quarter of a century. The question isn't just who committed this horrific act, but why? Why the Miyazawa family? Nestled in the quiet, unassuming Setagaya ward of Tokyo, the Miyazawa family lived a seemingly ordinary life. Mikio, 44, was a hard-working businessman. Yasuko, 41, was a devoted wife and mother. Their two children, 8-year-old Nina and 6-year-old Rei, filled the house with laughter. They were a picture of happiness, their future bright with promise. But on a cold December night in 2000, their world was shattered, their story forever altered. The discovery of the Miyazawa family's fate sent shockwaves through Japan. It was a crime so heinous, so brutal, that it left an indelible mark on the nation's collective memory. The Miyazawa family, consisting of Mikio, Yasuko, and their two children, Nina and Rei, were well liked in their community. They lived in a quiet neighborhood in Setagaya, Tokyo, where nothing of this magnitude had ever occurred before. The events that unfolded on that fateful night would forever change the lives of those who knew them and haunt the memories of an entire country. On December 31st, 2000, Yasuko's worried mother contacted the police, unable to reach her daughter. She had tried calling multiple times, but there was no answer. Her concern grew with each passing minute. The Miyazawa family had planned to celebrate New Year's Eve together, but the silence from their home was deafening. Yasuko's mother knew something was terribly wrong. She could feel it in her bones. The police, understanding the urgency, dispatched officers to the Miyazawa residence immediately. When authorities arrived at the Miyazawa home, they were greeted by an unimaginable scene. The house was eerily quiet and the front door was unlocked. As they stepped inside, the officers were met with a sight that would haunt them for the rest of their lives. The once warm and welcoming home was now a gruesome crime scene. Bloodstains marked the walls and floors, and the air was thick with the scent of death. The officers knew they had walked into something far more sinister than they had ever encountered before. The family lay lifeless, brutally murdered. Each member of the Miyazawa family had met a violent end. The brutality of the attacks was evident in the sheer amount of blood and the state of the bodies. It was clear that the killer had acted with extreme rage and precision. The investigators, seasoned as they were, found it difficult to process the horror before them. They had to remain professional, but the emotional toll was undeniable. This was not just another crime scene, it was a massacre. Mikio, stabbed multiple times, was found near the bottom of the stairs. His body bore the brunt of the attack, with numerous stab wounds indicating a frenzied assault. Mikio had likely tried to defend his family, but the assailant was relentless. The sight of his lifeless body crumpled at the foot of the stairs was a stark reminder of the violence that had erupted in what should have been a safe haven. Yasuko and Nina had been strangled and stabbed in their bedrooms. The rooms showed signs of a struggle, with furniture overturned and personal belongings scattered. Yasuko's body was found near Nina's, indicating that she had tried to protect her daughter until the very end. The brutality of their deaths was a testament to the killer's merciless nature. The investigators could only imagine the terror they must have felt in their final moments. Little Rei, the youngest, had been suffocated. His small, lifeless body was found in his bedroom, surrounded by his toys. The innocence of his room stood in stark contrast to the violence that had taken place. Rei's death was perhaps the most heart-wrenching of all. He was just a child with his whole life ahead of him, and yet he had been caught in the crossfire of unimaginable brutality. The officers who discovered his body were visibly shaken, struggling to comprehend the senselessness of it all. The brutality of the crime scene was chilling, a testament to the killer's rage. The forensic team worked meticulously, collecting evidence and documenting every detail. They knew that solving this case would be a monumental task, but they were determined to bring justice to the Miyazawa family. The community, the nation, and the world watched in horror as the details of the crime emerged. The Miyazawa family's tragic end was a stark reminder of the darkness that can lurk in the most unexpected places. Despite the horrific nature of the crime, the killer left behind a treasure trove of evidence. The scene was a forensic goldmine, with every corner of the house telling a story of what had transpired that fateful night. The meticulous work of the forensic team began to unravel the mystery piece by piece. DNA in the form of blood, fingerprints, and even feces was scattered throughout the house. Each piece of evidence was carefully catalogued and analyzed, providing crucial insights into the sequence of events. The bloodstains on the floor indicated a violent struggle, while the fingerprints on various surfaces suggested the killer's movements throughout the house. The murder weapon, a sashimi knife taken from the family's kitchen, lay near Mikio's body. This knife, now a key piece of evidence, bore the marks of a brutal attack. The forensic team meticulously examined the knife for any traces of the killer's DNA, hoping to find a definitive link to the perpetrator. The killer hadn't just committed a heinous act, he had lingered, eaten their food, used their computer, even slept in their home. This behavior suggested a disturbing level of comfort and familiarity with the environment. The food left on the kitchen table indicated that the killer had taken the time to prepare a meal, while the open computer screen hinted at a possible search for information or an attempt to cover his tracks. It was as if he wanted to be a part of their lives, even in death. The personal items scattered around the house, the family photos on the walls, all painted a picture of a once happy home, now turned into a scene of horror. The killer's actions left a haunting impression, as if he sought to leave a lasting mark on the lives he had so violently disrupted. The evidence spoke volumes, revealing not just the brutality of the crime, but also the twisted psyche of the individual behind it. The Setagaya family massacre, despite the abundance of evidence, remains unsolved. The killer's DNA, a unique profile, yielded no matches in any criminal database. Theories abound, ranging from a targeted attack by someone known to the family to a random act of violence by a drifter. The killer left behind a hip bag containing sand, potentially linking him to a construction site, but even this clue has led to a dead end. A race against time, the ongoing investigation. The Setagaya family massacre continues to haunt the Tokyo Police Department. The case remains open, a constant reminder of the brutal crime that shook the nation. Over the years, investigators have meticulously followed every lead, chasing shadows in the hope of finding justice for the Miyazawas. The killer's motive remains a mystery, a puzzle with missing pieces. In December 2024, the Tokyo Police launched a renewed public appeal, hoping to breathe new life into the investigation. Flyers with updated information and images were distributed throughout Setagaya Ward, a community still haunted by the unsolved case. The police were determined to leave no stone unturned, and their efforts were more comprehensive than ever before. The flyers, meticulously designed to catch the eye, featured not only updated images but also new details that had emerged from the investigation. Volunteers and police officers handed them out on busy streets, hoping to jog the memories of passers-by. The community's response was immediate. People stopped to read the flyers, discussing the case with a renewed sense of urgency and hope. In a unique and somewhat eerie move, a mannequin dressed in clothing similar to what the killer may have worn was displayed near the Miyazawa home. This visual representation aimed to trigger any latent memories or observations from the local residents. The mannequin stood as a silent witness, a stark reminder of the tragedy that had befallen the community. Digital billboards in bustling areas like Shinjuku and Toshima broadcast a video appeal, looping continuously throughout the day and night. These high-traffic areas were chosen strategically to maximize visibility and reach a diverse audience. The video featured emotional pleas from the victims' family members, urging anyone with information to come forward. The digital billboards served as a constant reminder of the unsolved case, their bright lights cutting through the urban landscape. As people went about their daily lives, the haunting images and messages were impossible to ignore. The question lingered in the air. Will these efforts finally yield the answers that have eluded investigators for so long? The community watched and waited, holding on to a glimmer of hope that justice would finally be served. The unanswered questions, a lingering shadow. The Setagaya family massacre stands as a stark reminder of the darkness that can lurk beneath the surface of even the most ordinary lives. The questions linger. Who was this ruthless killer? What drove him to commit such a horrific act? Was it personal? Was it random? The answers remain elusive, lost in the labyrinth of time. Join the conversation. What do you believe? The Setagaya family massacre continues to fascinate and horrify in equal measure. It serves as a chilling reminder that some mysteries may never be solved. What are your thoughts on this haunting case? Share your theories and join the conversation in the comments below.